Well, hello there, welcome back to IVATOPIA's Let's Play, episode 29 of Tyranny, or Tyranny, however you say it. Okay, I'm having a conversation with her, she's getting quite intense, so let's say, how is it that you picked up your fallen sister's weapon skills? It's been on my mind for some time, and I still don't have an explanation that fits. I have a few ideas, but fresh frowns and deep thought. Oh. Scarlet Fury share a sort of link. It's how we coordinate our dance in the heat of battle. We don't pass messages or anything, but our emotions and intentions sync up without words. She starts worrying worrying, isn't it? One of her knives. I guess it's whirring. I would say it'd be spinning, but it says okay, whatever. After a moment, she sighs and slaps the blade back into her sheath. War Mage, is this link icon in nature? I would say it's emotional. The curse is more interested in passion. Magic is just a convenient tool. The one thing I always knew was that I felt this connection more keenly than my sisters did. I could pick up nuisances that they missed, and I could feel them from the further away. When my sisters died, I felt each of them getting yanked out of my brain like someone pulling snails from a garden, but some of their slim residue was still there. Residents. Does that make any sense? You got the Force! I would take comfort in that. Your sisters live on in you. You should exploit the skill to its fullest potential. Skill? Not sure if it's called that. There's something parasitic about it, but I take your point. If there's an advantage to this things I'm experiencing, I'm not above using it against our foes. No matter how you paint it, some part of my sisters broke off in me when they died, and now I'm left to deal with it. Just another day in the tears, right? What are your thoughts on this favoured? Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to butt in. A warren of self-entitled children, so wound up in the delusion of honour, they're likely to hang themselves by their own high standards. I wish they had stayed in the Northern Empire where they belong. Then we could get some real work done in the tears. What do you think of their leader, Gravens? I've seen enough of that high-minded braggart to know that he's all duty. Nothing but a charismatic, broad-shouldered scarecrow. He calls himself the Archon of War, though, by the way, he stalls his forces waiting for a better strategy to present itself. You could think he's afraid of battle. I told you he's going to put in. Watch your words. I would not hear of you talking of the Archon this way. I growl ripples through Brock's armor, accompanied by sound of bending metal. Was I even talking to you, Junkyard? And no, I will not. You would think that someone more deserving would take Ash's mantle from him, but the favoured have this cult of personality built around their great general. In their eyes, he can do no wrong. Ash's connection to his troops. Graveyard Ashes protects his soldiers, keep harping on those words like they mean something. I don't deny that the disfavored can take a few extra lumps on the battlefield, but it only speaks to their thick-headedness. If anything, it's only true because his soldiers place that much trust in it. I've seen the power of suggestion do stranger things to people. Could that be possible? Stranger than heal battlefield wounds? Could that be possible? We're talking about a man who's centuries old and wears glowing armor. You tell me. Who would you see take Ash's place? I suppose you'll have a better idea how to handle disfavored forces. Back to my question. That one. I'd rather let disfavored sort it out among themselves. Grave Ashes is this aging figurehead of what should be a constantly changing role. The right soldier needs to grow a pair and kill the old man, kick his cane out from under him, remind the Legion what strength looks like. The voices of Narcan changes. He's a multi-factored gem, and the Scarlet Chorus is a reflection of that beauty. Someone could rise up and strike down the voices. Any of us would follow them in a heartbeat. So in other words, if I want your army to follow me, I just got to kill that guy, and ching, I've got a ready-made army. Interesting to know. I suppose you have a better idea of how to handle favoured? Of course I do. First, I'll stop babying the troops. Pain is a lesson best to learn early. I'll conscript them from the locals to bolster the front lines, because why waste your elite on the vanguard? Then I'll leave any misplaced efforts back in the Northern Empire. They're not helping carry the campaign anyway, so F them. You take away everything that makes them strong. Excellent. You would make them more like the Scarlet Chorus. Would that be so wrong? The curse is accountable for itself in ways that disfavored aren't. Our weak die, and the strong fight to keep their rank. As favoured promote their waning bloodline, waning, no, waning, whatever, bloodline, and discipline any soldier with the audacity to show their teeth. Though they never admit it, the disfavoured need the courage to show them the way. Back to my question about disfavoured. If we must, do you think disfavoured have a chance to see the tiers? Speaking as one of the exceptions, most of the tiers men are pushovers. The people of Star Wars seems capable enough, though I have my doubts. You might call them disfavored's best challenge. Even if they succeed, it might be too late to redeem themselves. The chorus have already impacted the conquest more than disfavored have, or likely ever will. And how many thousands of corpsmen did your victories cost you along the way? Barrett clears his throat, the grunting sound echoing in his helmet. As many as it took, junk heap. I can really still gonna come to blows at this rate. Just do it near the edge and the loser dies. Knock them off. What are your thoughts on their battle strategies? But preferably do it after we get back and I'm the leader of everything. What are your thoughts on battle strategies? They really got something with that Phillips maneuver. Formation built on holding still, moving forward slowly and hoping that no one slips in the mud. At best, as favoured are tired of using the same tactic over and over again. At worst, the enemy knows what to expect out of them. Scarlet Furies are dancers. We hear the music of battle and organise ourselves into works of killing art. Every fight is as hot and passionate as the last, with no room for stale routine. You speak of routine and discipline as if they were weaknesses. The shield walls keep soldiers alive. Courage recruits fly to the death like moths to the candle flame. To burn out while covered in the blood of your enemies is more honourable than the slow march to a dignified retirement. Would you rather feel the bite of a spear while hurling an axe through your enemy's skull, or the clench of your heart's betrayal while you sit up in bed, aged and alone? Wow. Probably the aged and alone one. The shadowy depths of his armour, Bracken makes no sound. He doesn't even appear to be breathing. Let me ask about something else. What do you think of those who defy Karu's authority? The Tearsmen can either fight or submit to Karu's peace. The only one of those opinions captures my interest. I suppose I appreciate when they go down fighting. If they did otherwise, I would need to find another excuse to flay them. They need to understand wherever we unite the Tears under a shared banner at the bottom of the mass grave makes little difference to you, me, or the Karazas. That's an interesting view of conquest. Did you fight it at any notable battles? Let's change that one. I spent some time in Arison towards the end of the war. Beastmen ripped my unit apart. We thought they might be working under Karen's orders, but we never found out for sure. It's a parametric one. Anyway, the Scarlet Coast caught into the idea of the beginning of the campaign. If no one objects that we're there to carve a bloody path for gain amusement, then by all counts, that is our purpose. Besides, unification is such a vague concept that currents allow the disfavored and the cursed to interrupt it as they will. The Overlord is concerned with results. I'm happy to focus on the details, especially if that means cutting off farmers' legs while his family watches their land burn. She smiles at the pleasuring memory. No shame in taking pleasure in your work. No, there isn't, Faithbinder. I suspect that we're going to make something great together. A line of bodies stretching as far as the Oddworlds. It's going to be beautiful. She looks at you with renewed interest. Let's change the subject. By all means, let's. You learn a thing or two about fighting in the Scarlet Course. Care to duel?
That would be an understatement, and
well,
I thought you'd never ask. Since you're obviously at a huge disadvantage, I'll let you pick our weapon of choice.
Let's try dual wielding knives. How about bowls? Let's play target practice. On second thought, let's fight another time. I want to fight. Yeah, let's dual wielding knives.
Exotic. Good choice. I'll leave you to guess which one is my dominant hand.
Gain 5 dual wield skills, yes. First slashes and parries with unrestrained ferocity. At times it becomes difficult to follow her movements after taking more than a few cuts. You lean to relax your eyes and better follow the subtle motion of her dance.
You held your own. Call me impressed. Need anything else, or did I tire you out?
I want to ask about your travels. What do you think of Karen's authority? Can't I fight her again? No. I want to ask about your travels.
What did you have in mind?
What do you think of your of our present circumstances. You back the winning team, and that's all that matters. The Scarlet Chorus shouldered the weight of the conquest. Seems fitting that they get saddled with the cleanup. Garen, Ashes, and the Legion of Fools will answer to Carson and to us. Zigzagging around the tiers, peeing off authorities as we go. I suppose there are worse ways to occupy one's time. Particular reason you've chosen to travel with me?
Well, if you're baiting me for a compliment, you're talking to the wrong girl.
Okay.
I don't have a gang anymore, and I wouldn't throw in my lot with any of the killers floating around the Scarlet Chorus ranks. The fact of the matter is you're doing important work, even if you stumble and flail along the way.
Wow.
Besides, once this Civil War business is taken care of, I figure anyone who follows in your shadow is due for some deserving reward. Though maybe some are more deserving than others.
She sniffs.
You've satisfied your curiosity, so let me satisfy mine. Why are you keeping a little scrap of a thing like me around?
You're a hardened killer, that's reason enough. Consider us friends, don't you? Where? You can do a love thing with her. Why not?
That's rich. What is it about me that squeezes your bellows? The bloodstains on my armor or the lice crawling underneath it? I hope I don't need to remind you that we're in a war. Find somewhere better to exercise your restless self. If not the battlefield, then a brothel. It always works for me when there's no sport around.
Wow. What do you think of our travel companions? Anyone in particular? Yep. I'll give him some due credit. He's more complicated than he looks. He's still an intolerant and unapologetic B-word, but that's more his business than mine. What do you think of Larenty? I've been meaning to ask you about him. Larenty is talkative, reads when he isn't writing, and brings as much to the battlefield as a sick bird. The warriors at your side shouldn't suffer from elders' ache in their sword arm. You would be better served by putting him out of his misery. We need him, and that's all you need to know. Understood. You got something in mind you're using him to accomplish, then by all means let him tag along, but don't expect me to keep him alive if he's pulling his weight. Somehow feel free to clue me in because I'm not seeing it. Back to my previous questions.
Go ahead, Fatebinder.
We'd like to discuss your apparent connection with Barak.
You've just got to know, don't you? I suppose there's no point in hiding it. Barak and I are siblings.
What?
We share a father, if little else.
They're brother and sister, seriously?
I try not to think too much about some northern merchant dropping anchor in my mother's port, but it happened, and the fortunate result stands proudly before you.
Did you two become aware of this?
There were a lot of lazy days during the conquest, and among other things, I spent my off hours using messenger birds as target practice. You should have seen Ash's anger when he heard that was going on. One day, I snagged a bird that flew from the hands of a proud northern daddy. The missive was about the goings-on at the family farm. I recognized the name and handwriting from a note in my mother's belongings. There weren't too many people named Barak in the army, so tracking him down was no challenge. I cornered him in camp, and we shared a few heated words. Some blackmail, even.
She tried to extort rings from me, and I was having none of it. Not even Graven Ash would think less of me for our father's indiscretion.
I like your confidence, but my ring belt is feeling a little light these days. Maybe you want to take me up on that offer, or I can start whispering in disfavored ears. Think about it.
Like each other? Well, no. It's an obvious
I've
one.
tried to get along with that ironclad knot of repression, but it would seem he's having none of it. Good riddance, then. The war's tossed us together, but nothing says we have to keep that going. The most we do for each other is try not to get the other one killed, which is more than you can say for most disfavored in Scarlet Chorus.
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity. Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
Basically, you didn't want to be like a sister.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you, Verse. Not that you would care.
You know, is any significant impact, Verse?
I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer. The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely. I told you about what happened to my Scarlet Fury sisters. The hesitation I experienced. Sometimes I wonder if that wasn't because of my connection to Barrick. He's stubborn, regimented, everything I'm not. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... Yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
If we must.
What do you need?
To Bark and Verse, have either of you noticed that you fight particularly well together?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
Do you think this is because of your shared heritage? How do you think this is possible? I want you two to train together. Why not?
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
I could bluff up. I could command you to train together. Why won't you give it a shot? If neither of you is up to the challenge, then I won't force the matter. Up to the challenge.
A valiant attempt, but I'm not as easily swayed by your courtly tongue.
I guess that failed.
Neither am I. At least, not in this context.
Yeah. Commander.
Sorry, Fatebinder, but no. It's a fair idea, but we would likely just kill each other for your troubles.
Agreed. It's not happening in this lifetime, but I like your passion.
Why are you a shot?
Oh, damn it. I can think of 100 reasons to refuse, but if this will serve the war effort, I can swallow my pride. Verse, if you even try to cut my head off, we're finished.
I make no promises. Tricky idea, Fatebinder. Old Ironclad and I might not stand each other, but maybe a few sparring sessions and a battle or two will be good for us.
Oh, this should finish.
Barrick, shall we get started?
They might end up getting like a double move together, you know, like the Fatebinder could do with them, and they could do together what make us stronger. First fear ability, first rage. We gained a new combo, but that's voila! That's what it's all about, combo ability. So it's worth talking to them. Where's the people? Fury's Rush, Mocking. That's where it is, what one? IVATOPIA and Verse. He didn't have many, so was it this? Verse and Black, voila! So it looks like that. Is it his thing? That's fine. Beautiful. You know what? I'm gonna save the game because I've done 4 episodes in a row now and I haven't saved it. And with that, I'm going to end the episode here. Like, subscribe, and that good stuff. And next episode, I'll finally go through this portal. Took 4 episodes to get through it. Because I go through here. But oh well. So like, subscribe, and that good stuff. And bye for now, everyone. This is saying bye, everyone. And have a great day. Bye bye.